My wife blindsided me asking for a break because she's not in love anymore, so I got my ducks in a row and now she is mocking me for trying too hard to win her back when I'm only preparing to screw her over. We'd been married for 7 years when Jessica came home from her yoga class and dropped the bomb. She sat on the edge of our bed and said she needed space to figure out if she still loved me. Just like that. No warning, no marriage counseling, just I need a break to find myself. I asked if there was someone else and she rolled her eyes like I was being dramatic. She said she just wasn't happy anymore and needed time alone to think. But here's the thing, I'm not stupid. Her phone had been glued to her hand for months. She started wearing makeup to the grocery store. New clothes kept showing up that I'd never seen before. Classic signs, right? But I didn't argue. I just said, okay, take all the time you need. That seemed to catch her off guard. I think she expected me to beg or cry or make a scene. Instead, I moved into the guest room that same night and gave her all the space she wanted. The next morning, I called out sick from work and went straight to a divorce attorney. Not just any lawyer, the best one in town that my buddy from college recommended. I explained the whole situation and she told me exactly what to do. Document everything, secure finances, don't let Jessica know anything. I spent the next week being the perfect husband on the surface. I made her breakfast every morning, asked about her day, did all the laundry and cleaned the house top to bottom. Jessica's friends started texting her asking what was wrong with me. She told them I was being pathetic and trying too hard to win her back. She actually laughed about it with her sister on speakerphone while I was in the next room, said I was desperate and it was kind of sad. Meanwhile, I was photographing every asset we owned. I made copies of all our financial documents, bank statements, credit card bills, mortgage papers, everything. Opened a separate bank account at a different bank and started transferring my paychecks there. Changed my direct deposit at work. Jessica didn't notice because she never checked our joint account anyway. I also started tracking her schedule, what time she left for yoga, when she went out with friends, how late she stayed out on Thursday nights. Funny thing about Thursday nights, she'd come home around midnight smelling like cologne that definitely wasn't mine, but I never said a word. Just wrote it all down with dates and times. 2 weeks into this break, Jessica started getting comfortable. She'd talk on the phone right in front of me with someone named Brad, giggling and twirling her hair like a teenager. She stopped trying to hide it because she thought I was too busy being her servant to notice. One Saturday, she announced she was going to spend the weekend at her mom's to clear her head. I said that sounds great, hope it helps. 30 minutes after she left, I checked our phone records online. Jessica wasn't at her mom's house. She was texting Brad the entire drive to his apartment across town. I had the address pulled up on my laptop. My lawyer told me to hire a private investigator, so I did. By Monday morning, I had photos of Jessica going into Brad's place Friday night and not leaving until Sunday afternoon. The PI even got shots of them kissing on his balcony, worth every penny. Jessica came home Sunday evening acting all refreshed and centered, said the time alone really helped her think. She was going to need a few more weeks to make her final decision about us. I told her, take all the time she needs, I'll be here waiting. She actually patted my head like I was a dog. Told her sister later that I was making this too easy, that I clearly had no self-respect. While she was busy mocking me to her friends, I met with my lawyer again. We filed for divorce on grounds of adultery. North Carolina is a fault state, which meant her cheating actually mattered in court. I also moved half the money from our joint savings into my separate account. Completely legal since it was marital property. Thursday morning, Jessica got served divorce papers at her yoga class, in front of all her friends. The instructor had to pause the session because Jessica was screaming into her phone trying to call me. I didn't answer. She came home an hour later, absolutely losing her mind, asking how I could do this to her when she just needed space. I stayed calm and said I was just giving her what she wanted. Freedom. She started crying saying she didn't mean actual divorce, just a break. That I was supposed to fight for our marriage, not give up. I pulled out the envelope with all the photos from the private investigator, spread them across the kitchen table. Her face went white. She tried saying it wasn't what it looked like, that Brad was just a friend. I asked if friends usually spend entire weekends together in one-bedroom apartments. She had no answer for that. My lawyer already had everything ready to go. Bank records showing I'd been the only one contributing to our mortgage for 8 months while Jessica spent money on new clothes and dinners out. Phone records showing thousands of texts to Brad starting back in January. The PI photos proving adultery. Jessica's own text messages to her friends talking about how pathetic I was for trying to win her back. Jessica tried to get her own lawyer, but nobody wanted to take her case. Not after seeing the evidence I had. She ended up with some fresh out of law school kid who couldn't negotiate his way out of a paper bag. The divorce was finalized in 4 months. I kept the house, my retirement account, and my car. She got her student loans that I'd been paying and her yoga membership. Brad dumped her 2 weeks after the divorce went through. Said he didn't sign up for all this drama. Last I heard, Jessica's living in a studio apartment and working double shifts to afford it.